There is no such thing as white witchcraft. Witchcraft is witchcraft. Tarot cards, card reading, everything to know about astral projection, Tibetan Book of the Dead, Buddhism, anything there was to know about spirit guides. And what I would do is I would astral project out of the body, enabling spirits to come in, because in witchcraft I believed that if I could get my own spirit, I could be empowered by bringing spirit guides in. Now understand, I was of the mind that these spirits that were coming in, spirit guides, were nice. I became very, very studious about astrology, witchcraft, card reading, and that card reading became my niche. Sid, I would walk into a room with a deck of cards and read everybody's mail, just by that deck of cards, and I thought I was the best thing since the McDonald's hamburger. I thought I had finally come to a place of prominence because I could intimidate people. I could make them afraid of me because I was operating in these powers. And I never knew they were demonic, or I thought that I had come into this great power that I had been looking for. The trouble is, when you play with the devil, he doesn't play fair. He'll give you everything you want, all the drugs you want, all the women you want, all the promises and all the power you want. And when he's done with you, he'll kick the legs out from under you. Sure. That's why you hear rock stars sometimes say, I sold my soul to the devil. Because once you make that trade, he'll give you what you want. But people need to understand that the devil is not sharing his kingdom with anyone. He's selfish and hateful, and his personality is that of hate and violence. And so as I began to encounter these spirits, from a pleasant person, even though I was a fall-down drug addict, I began to take on the personality of the devil. I began to act. I began to hate. I began to all the more. And I love to see people hurt. Like I'd like to do a card reading where I knew a man was committing adultery. I'd name names, and it was just an evil behavior. And so here I was with these spirits operating in this power, cursing people. I cursed one man, said he fell 3 stories into a wheelbarrow. Thank God that wheelbarrow was there, because he would have been killed. I was astral projecting. I was studying all this witchcraft. I thought everything was wonderful. The same spirits, as you said in the opening, that gave me power began to turn on me.
Why would they turn on you?
Because the personality of spirits of darkness is not a nice, friendly personality. I thought I had arrived. But as these spirits began to turn and to torment, the same spirits that gave me power to read cards and astral project and operate in the solical power, the psyche power, would turn on me. As if all of a sudden the same voices that would say, this man is committing adultery, or this woman steals at work, or this girl's going to get married last year, when I was reading cards, would now say to me, you should die. It's better to just die. Said I would walk around with a gun in my mouth. I can remember the metal used to burn my tongue. I would just suck on a gun, waiting for the moment to stop this power that I had entered into, to stop the destruction of my mind. My drugs increased. I would take needles, Sid, and people that were the worst drug addicts in town would not get high with me. I would go into a bathroom and take a needle and bang it into my arms. I had thick growths all the way down. Today you can see they're totally gone, but thick growths and abscesses all the way up and down my arms. In that drug state, I'd go out and become even more promiscuous, hoping that someone would just love me for a little while. And that's what our kids are doing today, Sid. They want somebody to love them for 15 minutes. That's why sex has become an everyday movement. Then one day, a young woman approached me named Linda Smith. And you know what, Sid? She really believed in the power of God. She walked the walk and just didn't talk the talk. A lot of people talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And Linda just showed the love of God in the way she acted. She didn't come out with all these spiritual lingo. Producing a man to me, a man that didn't rape you, beat you, use you, put you on the streets and stick needles in your arms. A man that was the Son of God who loved you for the way you are, not for 15 minutes. At church, she took me up to Pastor
Why did you go to
church?
church?
Because I was dying and there was no hope. I figured I'm going to die anyway. Let's go see. And you know what really influenced me, to be very honest, in the last few minutes of this program? She acted like a person who didn't just put on a facade of Christianity. She lived it. She walked it. She didn't want to impress anybody, Sid. She wanted to introduce to a dying, demon-possessed tramp witch. She wanted to introduce that human being to a man who changed her life.